What's going on? This is Byron Cook. I am the host of A Dose of Positive, and thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. The idea is really simple. I want you to feel good. I want you to learn from successful people who are at the top of their game. They're going to give you usable bits of information that can help you lift your life. Let's do this together. Enjoy. Well, A Dose of Positive, we've actually set up where my day job is here at KISS 1011, the studios here, and a very good bloke by the name of Tom Grennan is my guest this week. Tom, welcome from the UK all the way to Melbourne.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Buzzing.
You're the first musician we've had. As a general rule, we avoid musicians.
Oh,
Really?
no.
I'm joking. But you are the first artist that we've had. We've had athletes, we've had business people, we've had wellness people, doctors, but you're the first musician. So this will be interesting because for me, there's going to be a personal element to how you retain a positive mindset.
Yeah.
But then there's also this privilege in a way of being an artist.
Yeah.
Where your material is the backdrop, I think, for other people's positivity.
Yeah. I
Like,
hear you.
Are you conscious of the fact that in many ways you can lift a lot of people up?
I feel like at the start, I kind of didn't realise what I was doing, and until like an album comes out and until you meet fans and until you hear stories of how these songs that you've written about what's happening in your life has changed other people's lives, is a moment when you go, wow, like I am doing something important for people that might need help. I don't know, getting out of a bad relationship or coming out of a bad place where they might just find themselves in every day. Do you know what I mean? So, and these are what this song, when I wrote the songs, they helped me to do. Like, that's why I do, that's why I started writing, that's why I still write, is to tell my story, but also just to kind of, I don't know, put myself in a place where I can just go, I can just flick it off. That's how I call it. Like, if I'm feeling like down or if I need to get what I need to get off my chest, then songs are my flick off. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a pretty mad mad thing to think about when because I'm just a normal fella. Do you know what I mean? When I'm writing songs, I don't think of how these songs could impact people's lives, but they do, and I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in to do that, and yeah, I'm proud of that, man.
And isn't it a beautiful thing? Because it sort of goes round and round in a circle. Like for me, in my little part of my patch of what I do for a living, you know, I do this in a way selfishly. I get to talk to successful people every week, which then pumps me up to do another one of these shows. You know, I might have woken up one morning not feeling particularly great. I get to come into work here and it gives me a pump up, and then that in turn helps other people. They then listen to this. For all anyone knows, I might have had a fucking shit day yesterday.
Yeah. But
here I am doing this, and so your music, it's therapy for you, but then it becomes therapy for the people listening to it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like you say, like, even when you're doing your radio show or something like that, like, people are in their cars or in their living rooms or whatever, and they're waiting for your voice to lift them up for the day, or ready for you to play them a song. So it's sick what you do too, man. It's wicked, man.
It's a privilege, not a right, I think.
For sure.
And I think what you do is a privilege, not a right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And look, your music is high energy. It's positive energy. And I remember an interview with the great Bono many years ago, and he, obviously, U2 back in the day, still to this day, they can fill a stadium with energy.
Yeah.
You know, with music that is uplifting and positive. I remember Bono once said, it's pretty easy just to paint black, like a dark black canvas. You know, the challenge is joy.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and again, you're not thinking about this when you write a song, but your songs are joyous.
Yeah.
And that's.
I do think about it. I do think.
So
about
you do?
That. Yeah. I do think like, not if like this, especially in the times that we've been in, that we've just come out of, and what times like, especially at home, people are struggling. People are going through a lot of different challenges with money, financial states, coming out of COVID, all sorts of different things. And right now, like, I don't feel like anybody's got time to listen to a sad ballad, and they don't want to be in their headphones crying. Do you know what I mean? They want to be uplifted. They want to, I don't know, feel like they've just taken a load of drugs and been taken away from the world that they're living in, and having that moment in the clouds. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I definitely do feel like I think about the kind of songs that I'm writing and how I want them to make me feel, but as well as like, yeah, I'm on the stage now where like people are coming to shows and I just want them to have fun. Like I'm a man who've always enjoyed a party, and I'm a man who loves to dance and just be with my loved ones and friends, family, or whoever, and have a good time. Yeah.
So the great news there is, look, for anyone who's spending too much money on drugs, just listen to your records.
Exactly.
And you know, you'll be healthier.
Exactly.
You'll still feel like you're on drugs.
Exactly.
But you'll just be listening to a Tom Grennan on Spotify or...
Exactly.
Yeah, no. But jokes aside, man, that is huge. So it's almost a filter you might put through in a studio or in a recording process. You might go...
Mhm.
Does this make me
Yeah.
feel good? And if
For
it
sure.
makes you feel good, then it's a pretty good start for saying I might put that one on the album.
For sure. Like my latest single is called All These Nights, and
It's huge.
and
It's huge.
thank you, man. And I remember when we were in the studio doing that song, and as soon as I heard the pattern of the drum beat, I was like, this is definitely a single. I haven't even wrote any lyrics to it yet, but this is definitely a single, because I was just running around the room, just excited and pumped up, and yeah, it's crazy what music can do.
So that's the music bit of this, and I think it was important to give some context to what
Mhm.
you do and to what other great artists do. It's not just going around being a pop star and getting photos taken. It's the deeper connection. It's the things that you're doing that lift people up, and you might have turned one person's day from shit to great.
Yeah,
And that's
that's what I do it for.
That's it,
for sure.
right? That's it.
Yeah, man.
So tick to all that. But then I did want to get personal, and I've watched a lot of interviews with you, so I don't want you to have to cover the same territory. But I think in the context of A Dose of Positive, this is really important. My late mum said to me, one of her buzz terms, catchphrases, if you like, God bless her, was turn every disadvantage into an advantage.
Yeah.
And, mate, the incident where you were beaten to within an inch of your life outside of a KFC in your hometown, right? I know you've spoken about it before,
Yeah.
but rather than get too carried away with exactly what happened,
Yeah.
the part that I love about that incident in your life
Yeah.
was what could have been something that spiraled you downwards out of control, ended up actually being the spark that lifted you up and turned your whole life around, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. Don't get me wrong. When that happened, I definitely did fall into a hole. However, I didn't like where that hole was bringing me, and I didn't want to be at the bottom of it at all. And that's when I started writing, and that's when I said about me flicking stuff off. Is at first when I was in that state of depression or wherever I was.
Well, you just were physically hurting too,
And
man.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
physically hurting. Like, I started to write in a notepad. I didn't realise I was writing songs. I just was in a notepad because that's the way I could, I don't know, tell my mum about how I was feeling. I couldn't like physically tell her. Don't know why, but I just couldn't. And then I realised that actually I was writing songs, and then I went out into pubs, clubs, wherever I could get a gig, and singing songs, because I actually liked putting my pain and my thought process onto other people, because they were listening, and I was like, you can have whatever's going on in my life, and you can have that, and you can do what you wish with it, but the fact that I've just spoken about it and sung about it is taking the weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And to the guy who did do that to me, like, I don't know where he is and what he does now, but if I ever did meet him, I'd say thanks to him, because it definitely lifted me up and put me onto the trajectory of hopefully greatness. So yeah.
See, that's the gold, I think, and this is where we're lucky to speak to people like you. You have just said then, think about what you just said. If you saw the bloke that bashed you so hard that you've got metal plates in your jaws, this wasn't just like a bar fight, this was a horrific assault.
Yeah.
You're saying if you saw that guy, rather than clock him one or yell at, you'd very calmly thank him.
I would thank him, yeah. I would.
That is extraordinary, powerful, uplifting, and it's all of those things. And part of this is learning what drives successful people and seeing if we can take any notes from them. Motivation, I find an interesting one. No matter what you want to achieve in your life, what motivates you? In some ways, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it works. Like Lane Beachley, who's an Aussie surfing legend, she admits, she knows this might not be the healthiest motivation, but she always admitted she won the World Championship like 9 times or something crazy.
I think there's like a Netflix documentary about her.
I must watch it because she's an incredible... She married to the dude from In Excess.
Right.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, she admits that her motivation was she just wanted to prove a whole bunch of people wrong.
Yeah.
She wanted to make people wrong. Now, that might not be the healthiest, but she won 9 championships.
For sure.
So for you... as you've got more and more successful, do you think of that guy sometimes and be like, I want to piss him off in a certain way? Like, I want him to see that he didn't win.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a bit negative, but...
like, I feel like I want to make sure that I show everybody that I'm winning. And because, like, not only that guy, but, like, all my life I've kind of just, I don't know, had... teachers or friends or whoever, friends back in the day, would just been like, nah, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that. And I'm like, why not? Like, why can't I do that? And I don't like the word can't. I don't like the word don't, and I don't like the word. I just don't like them negative words. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always get asked the question, do you get nervous? I'm like, no. What do I need to get nervous for? I get excited. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I definitely do get a feeling of like before getting on stage or coming onto the shows like this or whatever, and I get this like feeling in my belly. If that nerves maybe, but if I'm thinking like a little bit like, oh, I'm nervous, and I change it into like, man, I'm excited. This is sick. Like I'm in Australia. I'm in different countries. I'm about to go on in front of thousands of people, and it's crazy, it's wicked.
And see, there it is, like, not so much the particular dude involved in this incident, but that is a little bit of a Lane Beachley thing, and I find it interesting, and there's nothing wrong with it, but there are people you can actually visualise even who they are, whether it was some dickhead at school or whatever, and there is a part of you, and you're good enough to admit it. Yeah, that fuels me to keep going to
I feel like that's human nature.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everybody has something in them where they go, I just want to make sure that that person who sat next to me, who was a little bit better than me at, I don't know, something, I'm going to be better than them at something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's just healthy competition, and also everybody's got a little bit of an ego, don't they?
Of course we do.
Do you know what I mean? And
of course we do. And
people are scared to admit that, but like, everybody has an ego.
Australians are funny, and I don't know. I lived in England for a couple of years, and it's not that different. But I think sometimes in Australia we have what we call the tall poppy syndrome, and sometimes I think Australians are a little bit reluctant to big themselves up and to give themselves, like it's more of an American thing to wear lots of gold chains and kind of be like, I'm the man. Australians, you do that, you're a dickhead, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit like that in England too.
Well, we've got to get better. I think Brits and Aussies need to get a bit better at even Isaac Heaney, who is a Sydney Swans leader. He's a great player and the best 22 footy players in Australia. When I put it to him, he's like, oh, no, you can't be arrogant. And
I don't think that's arrogance, though.
Yeah, like all I asked him to admit was that he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
Are you good at what you do?
Yeah.
He struggled a little bit, and he's brilliant at what he does.
Don't get me wrong. If you asked me that question, I would say, yeah, but I could get better.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a good point.
Like, I could definitely get better, and I could definitely learn more, and I could definitely focus in more on how to, I don't know, work harder to achieve what I want to achieve. But also, like, I think, and like, I've saw like Sheeran say this, and he said like, hard work beats talent, and it definitely does. And like, I never did, like, I wasn't massively into music when I was a kid. I loved it, but like, I never thought I'd be doing music. So me and music met really really randomly, but we've met and we've bonded and we've created this relationship. And I've had to work at it. I've had to work to get to where I am, and I ain't nowhere near where I want to be. So definitely like I'm good at it, but I could be better.
I like that. I mean, that's the mindset of a winner. And like, to be fair to Heens, that was kind of his thought. He doesn't lack confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Neither does Seth Curry, the NBA star, that he admits he has to be a role player on certain teams. This guy's older brother is Steph Curry, probably the greatest basketballer ever, or close to it, certainly in the conversation. And I said to Seth, I'm like, yeah, but you are the third best three-point shooter in the history of basketball.
Yeah.
So, like, you're the man. And he's like, no, well, I have to have that fine balance between, I've obviously got some swag, but I also have to accept my role in certain situations and be humble. So, you're right. It is a very fine line for successful people.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any harm in giving yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, no, like if you're proud of what you do and proud of your achievements, then cool. Like, talk about them because they exist and you've done them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no, why would you hide away from that? Do you know what I mean? Like, if people say, what have you done? I'll be like, I've done this. It's pretty mad.
Yeah, good, because
know
it is mad. And it is. It should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Look, in summary, mate, I've loved just getting...
I'm really enjoying this.
No, it's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's because it's all the positive stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
there's plenty of sources and outlets for depressing shit, and I just didn't want to add to that.
No.
You know, like there seems to be a wide assortment of shit that you can consume, and I'm sort of putting myself in that other space where there might not be as many people. They look at it and go, a dose of positive. Well, you know, it might be more of a niche, but it's a niche I want to play in.
Yeah, cool.
You know.
I love it.
I've asked this of every guest, and I will continue to do so. If someone's listening to this right now and they're tuned in because they think, you know, I think I know I want to make my life better. I might not be doing it perfectly at the moment. I need a dose of positive from Tom, you know, from a guy who's doing very well in music, traveling the world, putting out records. What would you say to that person? They might even be a little bit down at the moment, but they're definitely interested in getting better. What's your dose of positive?
I would say this. First off, go out and get a run in, get a jog in, and start thinking about what you want to do, because everything is possible, anything's achievable. I'm just a normal guy from a little town in England, and like you say, I'm traveling the world. But I feel like people need to know and understand that every human has the possibility of doing something great. And if you are listening to this and you are feeling like a little bit down and don't know where you're heading, like, write it out, put it on the fridge, put it on your cupboard, put it above the bed, and just have 3 things that you want to achieve tomorrow, in a week, a year, and strive to do that. But honestly, start with a jog.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, you've got me jogging after this.
Yeah,
I'm going to go for a jog around the block and then come straight back to the radio station. I'm going to put a very long song on and I'm just going to run around. It's good though. I agree with you. And that's, to be honest, I've had some challenges in my life in recent times, and really committing to physical activity and nutrition. To be honest, nutrition has changed the way I feel dramatically.
Physical activity's changed my life. Nutrition definitely, like, it could be better for me. But it's hard when you're on tour.
I bet.
Do you know what I mean? But when I'm at home, I definitely do knuckle down and try to eat as well, and drink loads of water. But like, physical activity is something where you're just in the game or on your own and just battling against yourself. That's why I love football. That's why I love sport. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm playing football, I forget about what's going on at home, or I forget about music, or I forget about whatever might be happening. Do you know what I mean? I'm in that for 90 minutes, and I'm sweating, and I'm getting down, and I'm just I'm just wanting to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that just buzzes you up.
It's healthy, isn't it? It's really healthy.
Of course.
It's so healthy. It's so positive compared to some of the other things you could choose to do, which we've all done. But that is good shit.
Yeah.
All right, well, obviously, your new single at time of recording this episode is All These Nights. It's a song I love so much, I insisted that my radio station play it.
Thank you.
Not that I had to twist their arm very much, but it is available everywhere now. You've played live in Australia. I'm sure you'll be back. secretsounds.com for tickets and info. Mate, continued success to you, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you very much. I've loved this. Nice one, mate.